Hi, today is Thursday, March 16th, 2017. It's the fourth day of the third week of Lent, and this is a Swede Speaks. Oh, it had to have some water. And we have to talk a little about the Dutch election, because the mainstream media in Europe, in Sweden and also in the rest of Europe, are basically saying that Wilders lost. But I think maybe they should be a little careful with that, because that's true. Wilders did not gain, well, his own majority or something like that. But Wilders' party, the Party for Freedom, the Partij voor de Vrijheid, or something like that. I don't really speak Dutch, but the PVV, they gained 5 seats in the Dutch parliament. They went from 15 to 20 seats, and they are the second largest party. The largest party is still the Prime Minister's party, but they lost 8 seats. They went from 41 to 33. Mark Rutte, the Prime Minister, will still be able to. He will still be asked to form a new government, as far as I understand. So I guess the Dutch king will give him the job to form a new government. The Labour Party, they went from 29 to 9 seats. They are almost eradicated. And what do we have more? Well, I'm not going to give you all the parties, because I think there were 28 of them or something like that. That's a lot, even to be in Europe. In the Swedish parliament there are 8 parties. But in the Netherlands it's 28 if I remember correctly. But anyway, there is one party that has gained access to parliament now with 3 seats, and that is the Denk party, which basically is a Turkish party in the Netherlands, and they are Erdogan's Dutch supporters, or, well, at least they're Dutch citizens. You could discuss whether they're really Dutch, but yeah, And why do I support Geert Wilders? Well, the interesting thing with his party is that he is his only member. So it's not really a party, it's just Geert Wilders. I don't know how he picks the other candidates or how they are, but he is the only party, or the only member of the party, the sole member. And he calls himself a right-wing liberal or something like that. I'm not a liberal, so I would of course object to that. But he does have the right view when it comes to Islam. And that is the most important question in Europe and in the West right now. And I can live with a lot of policies I don't like, as long as there are 2 things that a candidate that the candidate is right on, and that is Islam and the EU. And if I only get to pick one of them, it will be Islam. I'm not really sure where he stands on the EU, actually, although my guess is that he wants out, but I'll look that up and put it in the information box. But he has said things like that Islam is the Trojan horse in Europe. He has also said or stated that Islam is not a religion, but a totalitarian political ideology like communism and fascism. I would of course agree with him. He has also said that Israel is the West's first line of defense against Islam, which is what I am saying. And he also wants to ban the Quran just like the Mein Kampf is banned in the Netherlands. That could of course be discussed, but given the logic, he is right. Although actually I think that the Quran, that should be allowed so that I could study my enemy, but mosques should be outlawed, and there should be no Islamic immigration. And he is tough on Islamic immigration. He does not want any more Moroccan immigration, and as you know, almost all Moroccans are Muslims, and I am not against Muslims per se. I am against Islam, but with large Muslim immigration, you will get Islam. I mean, during the Cold War, I would not have been in favor of Russian Bolsheviks moving to Sweden either. If they really were Bolsheviks, if they really were Marxists and communists, I wouldn't want them to move to Sweden or the Netherlands or wherever either. Just like I sometimes say that if Sweden collapses, I think that Norway should take a few Swedish refugees, but only after carefully finding out who they were and what they stand for. Extreme vetting, to make sure that the political correctness wouldn't get even worse in Norway too. Like, well, it's a digression, but an interesting thing about Wilders, though, that I'd like to mention is that he is part Indonesian. At least it says so on the Wikipedia entry on him. Ethni Celebs claims that he's got no Indonesian ancestry. Wikipedia says he does. So I don't know which one is correct. So you'll just have to check out the sources. But the Wikipedia entry says that his mother is of mixed Dutch and Indonesian ancestry. As far as I can see from what he has said, and of course I could have missed something, but as far as I can see, he hasn't said anything about ethnicity or race, unless you consider Moroccan an ethnicity. I don't. Being Moroccan is a citizenship, and most Moroccans are Muslim, i.e. they believe in Islam to some extent, and that's the problem with Moroccans, not their ethnicity or their race. A blurry concept, but anyway. But let's move on. What's happening with the relationship to Turkey? On Monday, before the election, Turkey said that they will suspend high-level relations with the Netherlands. This is a consequence of the Netherlands stopping the Turkish family minister to talk in the Netherlands, or, well, to have a campaign meeting. And during a meeting, or the Turkish foreign minister, he is a guy named Mevlut, let's see here, Savosoglu. I'm sorry for my pronunciation, I'm not Turkish. But anyway, he has now said that Europe is headed for religious wars. And he has also said that there is no difference between Geert Wilders' mindset and the Social Democrat mindset in the Netherlands. And Erdogan says that Rutte and the Netherlands have lost Turkey as a friend. Well, what could I say? I could say a lot of things. One of the things I could say is that Turks has always had a bad reputation in Europe. And there is nothing strange about that, because Turks were the ones who were trying to convert Europe to Islam. And well, the Sultan and the Caliphate, that was the big threat towards European, Western Judeo-Christian civilization. And of course you shouldn't suppose all Turks are bad people because of that, but the Turk has been a word meaning the mirrored European, what we are not and what we do not want to be. So I don't think that the West or Europe or the Netherlands or Sweden or whoever should try to have Turkey as some kind of friend, as a best buddy or something. No, I don't think so. I think it was Ronald Reagan who once said that it was more important to be respected than to be loved. And I think that's what Europe and the West should go for. We should put ourselves in respect. Make sure that Turkey respects the West and respects Europe and respects the Netherlands, respects Sweden, respects the United States, etc. And that's much more important than trying to be some kind of pal. The days of Kumbaya are over. And Obama is no longer president. And yeah, you're right. Wilders did not get his own majority, which I think is basically what he would need to be able to be prime minister. But his party was one of few parties that actually gained in this election. And now we'll just have to hope and pray that that this will be enough, and that he will gain even more in the next election, and or that there will come other Dutch parties that are also against Islam and that also are able to grow, and well, that the Dutch really see what's going on, and that they leave this left liberal worldview that seems to be so popular in the Netherlands. I get the impression that they're a little like Sweden. But if anyone from the Netherlands is watching this, feel free to comment and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. But it does look to me like the Dutch have the same problem as the Swedes, that they believe in this left liberal worldview, which really is well, if a stronger and a weaker culture clashes with each other, the stronger one will win. I mean, that much is obvious. So we'll just have to hope that because Wilders' party gained. Let's not forget about that. And the story isn't over yet, so we'll see what happens. And that's what I have to say about this right now. I would like to thank the people who are supporting this channel through prayers, through PayPal, through Patreon. It's all very appreciated. And if you like this channel, please subscribe so you don't miss anything. Please share my videos on social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. And if you got something to say, feel free to comment. I read all comments and I reply to most of them. And if you like my videos, please like them. And yeah, I guess that's it. This is a Swede Speaks. Have a nice day.